welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. My guest this evening is Rich Greco from the Middletown Car Show Committee. Rich, welcome. How are you?
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you?
Great.
Good. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the committee and your involvement with the car show.
Well, the car show, let me start with, began 19 years ago. This is the 19th annual car show.
All right.
And it was started, I believe, by the Downtown Business District in Middletown. Sure. My involvement, it's only really my second year with the show.
All right.
All right. I am one of the members of the planning committee.
Excellent.
But I am pretty much the night of the event, the enforcer, should I say.
All right.
Making sure people follow the rules. And troubleshooter, go out and there's some issues going on, make sure that they get resolved, and hopefully everybody's happy with the results.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, you said this is the 19th year of the car show, and it was started by the Middlesex Merchants Association.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea, back 19 years ago when it started, how many cars showed up? The first?
I think the first show was maybe somewhere between 250 and 300 cars.
All right, all right. Mm-hmm. And typically, how many, like last year or going back a couple of years, how many cars typically show up that evening?
Well, last year we had, what I found out was a record number. We had about 1,200 cars.
Wow.
Weather was ideal.
Oh, yeah.
Very hot.
That's all right.
No threat of rain.
Nope.
And most car guys do not want to bring their car up if it's going to rain, especially if they spend all day or weekend detailing it.
Exactly.
Right. So that was a record crowd and record attendance last year.
And how are we looking for this year?
We'll probably have just as many.
All right.
And we learned a lot from last year from the number of people there that there are probably some things we should change.
Okay. Now, what do you think you've learned from last year to carry over to this year as far as changes go?
Well, one of the things we learned is we didn't have enough room for all the cars.
Aha, okay.
All right. I think when we were talking earlier, I mentioned that a few of the cars overheated.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So we did have a staging area to help, but if people listening to this don't come too early. Right. I think sometimes people figure, well, there's a show, let's go, and there's plenty of parking. But the one thing people forget is there are people that work downtown.
Yeah.
And for you to get in, they have to leave. Yeah. Or there's no parking space. Right. So with that in mind, I'm hoping some of the listeners from this area realize, don't show up at 2:30 and expect to get to park on Main Street because we're still setting up.
Exactly, and plus all the local businesses will still be open for business.
Right.
Now, I guess one of the other questions that we're going to talk about a little bit later, but let's talk about it again now. The most important question: when is the car show?
Well, that will be June 15th. It's a Wednesday.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And with a rain date of the following Wednesday, which would be the 22nd.
Okay. And it's all up and down Main Street in Middletown?
Pretty much all up and down. Because of restrictions on that Main Street, the north end of Main Street's a state highway. Okay. So we start at where 66 crosses. It's called Washington Street.
Yep.
We go south of that
area. Sure.
Go all the way down to the town green. And when that fills up, which it usually does,
right.
we go to the parking arcade behind the police station. Okay. That's our backup area. Okay. And 2 years ago when I first got involved, it was barely full, that garage. Last year it was full, and we were routing cars everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Really. Now, when people show up, what types of cars can they typically plan on seeing, or what types of cars are typically there?
Well, you could see anything from 1915, 1918, as far back as then, all the way to present cars, and that's where we did make a change. Okay. We have a cutoff this year of 91. Okay. People want to come, they want to bring their car, but it's basically a classic car that was 25 or older. Right. So we set a cutoff at 21, so anyone with a 25 years from 1991. So anyone with 1990 and older is welcome to come on Main Street or the Green or the parking arcade. If you have a new car, what we've done is set up other parking areas. There's a parking garage at Middlesex Mutual, the high building there. Yep. That will be free parking in there for anyone who wants to just come and not enter a car, but watch the show. Okay. Also, we have Malili Plaza, which is near Washington Street, the north end. Yep. You can park there. There's another parking lot off of Broad Street. So there are other areas that spectators, we call them, can come and park in and don't have to worry. They don't have to pay. Okay. Because it's free parking for them. Right. Those entering the show, there's a $5 donation.
I was going to say, there's a donation if you want to enter the show. Yep. $5, but if you want to come enjoy the show, that's totally free.
Correct.
Now, as far as vendors go, you obviously But the car show, you've got to have vendors.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Last year, we had a record number of 50 vendors.
Okay.
That includes food vendors.
Yeah.
It includes maybe people selling car parts. People were just in a business. We had a lady doing massages there last year,
Really?
walking on backs and everything.
All right.
So there's quite a bit of stuff going on there. Most of the time it's related to cars.
Okay.
And one of the challenges last year we had was because we had so many vendors and they all want to be on Main Street, it takes up spaces for the cars that want to be in the show.
Uh-huh.
So
what did we do to alleviate,
what we're
alleviate that
doing
situation?
is we have what we call food and vendor courts now. So off of Main Street,
Right.
the first one would be Court Street. That's going to be food vendors.
Yep.
The next street down is College. Okay.
Okay.
So College Street, we're going to have vendors in there. And the next street down is William. We're going to have food vendors there. That should take care of most of the food vendors.
Okay.
Also, we're going to use the sidewalk areas.
All right.
And a new area we're trying this year is right near the stage area, across from the stage where the police station is.
Okay,
There's
yep.
an alleyway there near one of the restaurants.
Right.
That leads to the parking garage.
Yep.
That's going to be full of vendors that are non-food related, that basically have a tent or a pop-up.
That's fine.
So
Yep.
they can bring a table and set up. So we're going to put vendors in there. Again, the whole idea is to free up Main Street because the people with cars want to
be on Main Street, and they don't want to be in an alleyway because who's going to come down into the alleyway to look at your car?
Right. Yep.
And then there's the vendors who want to make some money that night too.
Yep.
And I guess as far as the event goes, I guess obviously you're involved, and obviously there's been a committee of a panel of experts that have put on the committee.
Right. We have a panel of somewhere between 12 and 14 people.
Okay.
Some of the members are from one of the car clubs
Okay.
that's kind of been with this event since it started 19 years ago,
Okay.
the Over the Hill Gang. Their responsibility basically is parking cars and screening the cars before they come in.
Okay.
That's how we can try to adhere to that pre-1991.
All right.
Okay, we have a girls group, mostly, well, actually some guys doing it this year, from Liberty Bank that collect for us. They take the $5 donations. So when people enter the show on the south end, the car club gentleman will be down there screening you, making sure that if you're in an older car, that you get on Main Street in the right
Right.
direction. If you're not, that they show you which way to go so you can park for free.
Exactly.
And then the girls, if you get in, will do the collection.
Now, who's the benefactor of the event?
There are actually two benefactors. The number one benefactor would be the Middletown Mentor Program.
Okay.
Okay, basically the mentor program is funded so children who maybe don't have a parent or one parent maybe only or two, don't have two parents, have an adult in the community they can relate to and mentor with
Okay.
and go that route. And so the money goes there and to the Park and Rec program. So it goes to kids.
Excellent. Very, very nice. And I'm sure that one aspect of the event that we didn't talk about, what I want to touch on briefly, is I'm sure the city of Middletown has been very cooperative with you guys.
Oh, yes. It starts right at the top with the mayor, with Mayor Drew.
Yeah.
Okay. Common Council's involved. Let's see. Hopefully I don't forget any. The police.
Yeah.
Without them, we'd have a big problem.
Exactly.
Fire department, public works, water and sewer,
Everybody.
all the departments at City Hall
Everybody
and
in
everything.
the city.
Common Council, because they help fund us too.
Right.
Without them, we couldn't pull this event off.
Exactly.
So it makes it very difficult to do it without it's a city involvement, the whole event.
Now, as far as the event goes, and what is the involvement that the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce plays?
The chamber is involved in a lot of the staffing and a lot of the, when people enter, like a vendor enters, they have to register through the chamber.
Right.
So the chamber staff takes care of that. They also help with vendor spacing, getting
Yeah.
the vendors, which is part of my job too, getting the vendors in their proper spots so they can set up and operate.
Okay.
Like I said, collecting money, handling issues, planning for the event. There's a lot of things they do.
Of course there
Yes.
are. And I'm sure that's where Kathy Duncan comes in.
That's where she's kind of the person that's in charge of all that at Chamber.
All right. Now, I guess you guys have a partnership with one of the local auto parts stores?
Well, I guess you could say that, yeah. Last year, we had lost our previous sponsor.
Okay.
So we were on the hunt for a sponsorship. as a major sponsor for the event.
Right.
And we have a local business. It's really a national business. I'm sure you're familiar with one. That's Napa. All right, so Napa Auto Parts is our sponsor.
Excellent.
And the promo they use basically is powered by Napa know-how.
Right.
All right, and they come in and they pay the big bucks to be the sponsor.
Right.
And we give them a premium spot right in the center near the stage.
Excellent.
And do as much promo as we can, because really without the sponsors and the city and what they contribute, it'd be impossible to run this event.
Exactly. And I guess some of the other schedule of events for the day, I guess you guys have people broadcasting up and down Main Street with one of the local radio stations, and then we have another local radio station that's both near and dear to your and my heart.
Right.
For the Middletown listening area.
Right, we do. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I don't miss anything here. Yeah, we do have some entertainment. We have WMRD and WLS radio.
Right,
They'll be broadcast in front of the chamber. We have WCNX radio, internet radio.
Right.
They'll be down on the gazebo on the South Green.
Yeah.
John Clark's doing that, and I guess he's giving away some beach balls.
That's what I understand. John Clark giving away beach balls.
And
which
some of them are 4 feet tall, I think.
Really?
You know, and this is all for the kids, because this is a family event.
Of course.
We've geared it. And you go down there, you see people walking around with their kids.
Right.
You see people walking around with their pets. And it's become a very large family event for people to attend, but it's also become a great event for the businesses downtown.
Very nice, very nice. Normally, as far as financially, how do you guys do every year with this event? Does it it probably pretty much depends on the weather?
Oh, exactly. Last year is a great example. I mean, 1,200 cars, typically maybe just 500-600 cars.
Right.
I think we almost doubled what our normal is for that event.
Wow.
At times, the green wasn't even full. This year, we filled the green up, we filled the garage up. So the weather is a very big factor.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure they've had different weather issues over the last 19 years as far as crummy days and.
Oh yes, I know one year they did have to reschedule, I believe.
Really?
It's usually the next Wednesday. The following Wednesday's the next day to do it.
Right.
And that's a tough call to make.
It is.
Usually Kathy does that at the chamber.
It's
calls start coming at 9 o'clock. Are you on for today? And you got to understand, some people drive maybe 50, 100 miles.
Right, exactly.
If they're vendors, they got time to set up, to
right,
pack.
Exactly.
So it makes it difficult.
It's going to make it difficult. Rich, would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Rich from the Middletown Car Show Committee. Rich, welcome back.
Yes, thanks.
No problem. Thanks for sticking around. So we were talking during the first segment about the car show. I figured let's talk about this segment about some of the entertainment aspect of the event, if you'd like.
Sure.
to.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a surprise last week that I'm going to mention, because it is entertainment, I guess.
Right.
I was talking to the general manager in the area from Napa.
Yeah.
And I understand that they were racing, not the 15th, but the Saturday following, I guess
Right.
it's the 18th, at
Yes.
Stafford Speedway.
Excellent.
They do a big event up there.
Yeah.
And the race car that Napa races and the whole race trailer are going to be in the area. So I guess he got a phone call, Jeff got a phone call, and
They're gonna
said, is
stop
there
by.
anything we can do for you? I said, yeah, we got a car show. Can you bring the race car?
Can you stop by?
Right, and can you bring the trailer and everything else? Sure we can. So that's kind of the main attraction on Main Street, was going to have the race car and the race team and everything there. So that's going to really bring a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
One of the other things we were talking earlier,
Yeah.
there is another musical entertainment down in the parking garage arcade that I was talking about where the vendors are.
Yeah.
We're going to have a musical group called the Aquitudes.
Okay.
It's a three-piece group, I understand.
Nice.
They'll be playing 50s, 60s type music
All right.
that's suitable, for
Right.
what we're trying to get.
Exactly, for car shows.
Yeah.
And I understand, just by doing my research, looking at my notes, there's also going to be a fashion show.
Yes, yeah. One of
Tell us about
the new committee members who came to our first meeting, I know her, and she was asking me, should I join the chamber because she started a new business. And I said, why shouldn't you?
Exactly.
You get to meet people, you get to network with other people. And she started doing stuff for veterans, doing
Really?
some fashion shows that were typically for like World War II veterans.
Okay.
All right, who, a lot of the World War II veterans are
Right.
passing away now. So what she did is a fashion show for them, and she says, how about I do a fashion show for the car show? I said, that's a good idea, run some things by me. So what's gonna happen is, I think she's got 30 girls that volunteered. They all volunteered to do this.
Very
all right,
nice.
and they're gonna dress up in like typical things that ladies would wear in the 50s and 60s.
All right.
All right, the poodle skirts, I guess,
Yep.
and all that. And they're going to do a fashion show on the main stage, okay, when we have a music break or something like that.
Yep.
And also in the Riverview Center area, and they'll be strolling around. I think we're also going to have some odd fellows there too, some guys walking around on stilts, juggling and
Very-
stuff like that. So
really?
again, a lot more
Excellent.
entertainment than we had last year. Trying to
Excellent.
keep that theme of family show.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And like you said, it's going to be a family show.
Right.
And it's going to be probably very family community oriented. And I'm sure over the last years that you've been involved, I guess has all the peace and has everything gone smoothly, or have there been bumps in the road where
Well,
you've
there's
had
always-
to break up a disagreement
There's
every
always
once in a while?
There's always a bump in the road, yeah. Yeah, there's always a bump in the road. I know last year I had a special guest that we had the year before that gave out some awards.
Yeah.
And we had saved some parking spaces in front of a local restaurant there.
Yeah.
And I guess the gentleman tried to get in on the south end of the green, and apparently the people that were screening people coming in didn't recognize him, and he didn't get in. So it wasn't so much the issue with him, but my wife and one of my friends who volunteered stood in front of the restaurant for 2 hours reserving spaces, and they got hammered by people. Why can't I park here? Why can't I? Well, it's safe for us. Or who is this guy? And so they did catch a little bit of grief, and a few of them got a little bit of grief from me when I found out who they were.
Exactly.
For talking to my wife that way. But generally, it's a good, relaxed environment. Typically, car people will come in. They'll bring their lawn chair. They'll bring their ice chest. Their sandwiches. They'll sit next to their car.
Right.
They won't leave the car.
Right.
So that's just the way car shows are.
Right.
All right. But what they usually do is they bring their book. And the book is, this is what pictures of the car. This is what it looked like, before.
And here's what it looks like now.
So it's kind of, and you meet people. For me, my first car was a 1970 Chevy Nova.
All right.
So what's the first car you think I look for when I'm there?
A 1970 Chevy Nova.
Right. And the second one is my actual first car, because it wasn't my new one, a 60 Chevy, which you very seldom see with the big fins on the side.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
You very seldom see those. So that's what people do. You go there, and in college I had a 61 MGA. So of course I'm looking around for an MGA, and there aren't too many of them around. So that's what people do. You can, guys my age go back and you kind of relive in your teen years.
Exactly.
Now, what did I drive then? Oh yeah, can I find one of
Can
those
I
around
find
here?
one? Sure.
Yes. So it makes for an exciting night for a lot of people.
I guess now, what types of people show up at car shows?
I mean, you name it. Like I said, children show up with their parents.
Yep.
You get a lot of young teenagers, because they all started driving now, so cars are real important. But then you get people like me that grew up in the 60s that, had maybe a muscle car.
Yep.
That are reliving their past. So we've got people from, babies to 90-year-old. And it's quite an environment.
Very nice, very nice. Now, as far as, let's talk about the entertainment schedule expanded.
Expanded, yeah. Generally, we just had, a couple of years we had a band there. This year we decided not to go with the band so much. The band's great for entertainment, but people don't really sit and listen to the band.
Right, exactly. 'Cause
They
you-
walk around, they look at the cars.
Right.
You know, they'll stop and munch on some of the food. They'll stop and
Exactly.
look and see what the vendors have. It's not so much, you know, just sitting there listening to music, and it's good to have.
Right.
But, you know, we need the PA system there too, because at the end of the night, the ultimate thing is you want your car to win an award.
I was gonna say, let's talk about the
Yeah.
the awards program.
So
that you guys
depending
do.
on the amount of sponsors we have, I
Right.
think this year we're going to have 13 awards.
Okay.
And each sponsor just kind of names their award.
Right.
We have one sponsor that has something to do with cleaning, so they go the cleanest car award or something
Okay,
like
sure.
that. Or the chairman of the event, Foster Charles,
Yep.
runs an IT company, so he might say the most technically advanced car.
There you go.
And we look for that, and that'll be the title of his award.
All
So
right.
they're all geared to something to do with the business that's actually a sponsor.
Nice.
And
Very
they do get a plaque
Okay.
for that if they do win, and they get their picture taken. It gets posted on our website too.
Very nice. Now, how long have you been a member of the Chamber of Commerce?
I started around the year 2000.
Okay.
I was working full-time at the time. I was in the insurance and investment business, and I thought, what a great way to meet people.
Exactly.
Join the chamber. As we were talking earlier, the chamber has a lot of events. Every month they have a business networking event.
Right.
And you go there, you introduce yourself, and you get to meet people. But
Exactly.
I got mostly involved with the downtown area.
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved with the car show, because it's done by the downtown business district, and my motorcycle show. And
I was going to say we've got a little bit more to go tonight. So I was going to say you're going to come back with me again, and we're going to talk about a motorcycle show that you guys have coming up in, I believe, August.
Yeah, August 10th.
And can you maybe tell us a little bit about
Sure.
about the
The
motorcycle show?
motorcycle show will be in its 11th year.
Okay.
Started as an outgrowth of the car show.
Really?
Some of the guys involved in the car show says, hey, if we can do this with a car event, why don't we try it with a motorcycle event?
All right.
So they did, and one of the members of that group that started it was one of the Hunter family members.
Okay.
Okay, and he was a motorcyclist.
All right.
And unfortunately, he has passed. He
Okay.
got killed in a motorcycle accident. So Hunter is our main sponsor for that event.
Okay.
And they've been there since day one. And the event's grown from maybe 500 bikes the first year to way over 6,000 this year, or last year, I should say, and probably 18,000 people.
6,000 bikes, 18,000 people?
You couldn't find a postage stamps to park. There are bikes everywhere.
Where is this event?
It's on Main Street also. I don't know if you know, Pete, but Middletown has the largest Main Street in all of New England that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Largest
I
Main
didn't
Street.
know that, but I've been up and down Main Street, Middletown, a couple times.
Right.
And
And the biggest thrill for some people is just walking anywhere they want on Main Street, not worrying about a traffic light
Yeah.
or a car moving, running them over. So
Exactly.
for some people, that's a thrill.
Oh, it's-
you know.
it's a phenomenal thing doing it that way.
Yeah. And one of the other things I had mentioned earlier, the businesses,
Sure.
that these events were started by the downtown business district.
Yeah.
The night of our events, I know for Motorcycle Maine especially, is the biggest night of the year for restaurants.
Oh, yeah, totally.
They do a tremendous
I was gonna say
business.
they probably do a great business because
Yeah.
you're open, you're there, so and you got,
It's a 4 to 5 hour time span, but they are swamped.
oh, that's a good thing.
In fact, one of the restaurants said to me when I was in there for a chamber event, they found out what I did, and they said, Motorcycle Mania. I said, car show. I said, why don't you have them every Wednesday? I said, that'd be great for you, but I would be a disaster.
I was gonna say, yeah, you'd probably
2 years enough.
be burned out because I'm sure that doing both the Motorcycle Mania event and the car show, not only because it takes time consuming once you guys set the date for the events, but then you got to plan everything and make sure
Exactly.
everything goes off without a hitch, and if there's an issue,
Someone has to address it.
I was going to say somebody's got to address it. Now, normally, the car show, is it always typically the same time every year?
It's typically the second Wednesday of the year. Okay, this year it's
In June.
In June.
Okay.
But this year it's the third Wednesday. There was a conflict with another event. You know how rainy it's been. The last 3-4 weeks. Some of the events with the chamber, I know there was a golf tournament that was supposed to play in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That got scrubbed because of the
Because of the rain?
And now that's like the first Friday in June.
Oh, really?
So a lot of stuff has had to be pushed to a different date. So in honor of that, and also I believe there's an awards dinner early in June. So you can only pack so many things into a week.
Exactly.
So they had to move it another week back.
I was going to say, and I'm assuming if you have to move an event, as far as planning goes, that probably throws a wrench in the
Oh,
works.
sure does. Yeah, and like I said, some of the biggest challenges are for the vendors. Mm-hmm. You know, but usually Wednesday there aren't too many events going on.
Exactly.
So it's not like, oh, it's another weekend. I already had another event planned.
Exactly.
Because the weekend is packed with events.
Exactly. Now, as far as the motorcycle show goes, is that always typically the
That's pretty
same
much
time every year?
typically the second Wednesday in August.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about 2 years ago we had to reschedule.
Okay.
Had to do a rain delay. We had to
'Cause of the
cancel it,
rain.
and some of the experts said, oh, you'll never do as well. You know, you had a rain delay. It'll never go off as we doubled
it
what we
did.
had the year before. It
Yes,
was
it did.
enormous.
Really? Excellent. Wow, it's pretty amazing thing.
Yes.
So one more time before we're about to say goodnight here shortly. So let's just recap the car show again. When is it? Where is it? And what time is it?
Okay. Well, the date is June 15th.
Okay.
The show officially opens at 4:30.
Okay.
Ends at 8:30.
Okay.
Okay. We asked the people not come too early because, like I was telling you
Your
earlier,
car's going to overheat.
Car's going to overheat. People have to get out of downtown so you can get in.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think we've got more staff this year to help, but remember these are people who volunteer. They're not getting paid, so kind of treat them nicely.
Exactly.
And anything else I missed? The $5 entry fee. The money goes to the Middletown Mentor and Park and Rec.
All right.
Come down, enjoy the great weather, enjoy what I think is the best Main Street, Connecticut.
Exactly.
And
Well, Rich
have a good time.
Rich from the Car Show Committee, thanks for coming down. We'll
Okay,
see you
Pete.
soon.
See you soon.
On behalf of Rich, I'm Pete. Thanks, good night, and we'll see you next week.